phones ready. Just don't use them while I'm talking right now. No, I'm just kidding. You can do what you want. Okay. So we have been talking about the letter number 31 of Nahjul balagh, where in the last section the Imam alayhi salam talked about the importance of the heart, right? And the heart is really the central thing that needs to be worked on if we want any type of purity. It's the heart that's going to be judged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether one's heart is pure or whether one's heart is corrupt. And that's why, even as we mentioned, the jihadun nafs is basically the battle that takes place between the aql, the intellect, and one's heart, one's nafs basically. And whoever is the winner of that battle will be the successful one. So the Imam in that section talks about the heart, and one of the ways he says that you can control the heart and awaken the heart is by visiting the qabristan, visiting cemeteries, and especially participating in processions and when people have died, janazas basically, as they are leaving. And that's something that I think has worked. It works well for me, to be quite honest. Right now, you know, the first time I washed a dead body, that had an impact on me. But I'm sure those who wash dead bodies all the time, the impact lessens after a time, because that's just the way the nature of the beast works, you know. But I think participating in funerals is a really positive way of awakening the hearts. And generally what you find, because I try to attend as many as that I can, it's those who are retired who show up mostly to funerals, you know, because everybody else has got to get that paper, you know what I mean? But it's really for us, the rest of us, right? Like, it's not just that, okay, I think in our minds we sometimes have programmed ourselves to think like that, right? I'll do this later. So for example, I'll wake up for Salatul Layl later. I'll do these things later. Well, there's no guarantee later will ever come about, right? And it's not. And how we shape ourselves now will determine our later. You understand what I'm saying as well? So I think when we are presented with opportunities like these, like funerals, we need to take that opportunity and say, you know what? So what if I don't get paid for 2 hours at work? Let me take a longer lunch, but let me come and participate in this. Because even though I may not know that person, just the walking behind a janazah has a tremendous impact on one's soul and one's psyche. And the Imam actually talks about that, right? Like, you look at the people who are alive and they're no longer here, and these should be an awakening. Then the Imam alayhi salam gives some more really practical advice to his son. And these advices in particular have to do with the tongue. He says, give up discussing what you do not know and speaking about what does not concern you. Keep off track from which you fear to go astray, because refraining from moving when fear of straying is better than embarking on dangers. That's really deep right there. Yeah, it's really deep, but it's really beautiful. We'll come to that in a second. Then he says, ask others to do good, and you will be amongst the good doers. The first thing the Imam alayhi salam begins, he talks about the importance of controlling the tongue, right? The tongue is this little organ, I guess you can say, but has such a powerful impact, right? If you look at the books of sins like Gunai Kabira, or if you look at the Muharramat in the books of our Maraja or in the books of ethics, when it talks about the sins, you find that like majority of the sins come from the tongue, right? And the way we use the tongue, whether it's to gossip or lie or to use profanity or to break up relationships or to create gossips and whatever it is, right? There are so many sins, argumentative, there are so many sins that stem from the tongue, and this is why, you know, there are traditions that tell us to be careful about our tongue, right? Even in the Quran, you know, there's I forget which surah, but when Allah describes His bounties, He says, وَلِسَانًا وَشَفَتَيْن وَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ نَجْدَيْن. He says that I have given you eyes. He talks about the eyes prior to that. Then He has given us the tongue, and He said, I've given you the 2 lips, and then I've shown you the 2 ways of guidance. And we are supposed to use these gifts of God and then pick the right path of guidance or the wrong path of guidance. But like our ulama say something really beautiful, right? They say that out of all the gifts, we can understand like why God says, okay, the eyes, because the eyes are used for so much, the tongue, because the tongue has so many ups and downs to it. But then why did he mention the lips? And he says to close your mouth. That's why God is mentioning the lips. Yeah? But it's so hard to close our mouths, because it's so fun to talk, Just ask anybody who's ever had the mic, They can't give up the mic, right? It's something that's really addictive. When a person's asked to recite dua, they'll take their extra 2 minutes because it's that much fun the mic is, right? Someone's asked to give a lecture, don't ask them to give a 5-minute lecture. We can't do that, yeah? Ask me for a 10-minute lecture, maybe I'll do it, okay? Give me half an hour, I'll surely do it, right? But because the tongue likes to talk, so the Imam alayhi salam says that you have to learn to control your tongue. And the first way is, give up discussing what you do not know. This is something that's really problematic for us, especially in today's days with the millennials, right? The whole rise of the millennials. And the generation that's coming after the millennials, they call them the iGen, right? The I generation. These two generations, because of the breadth of knowledge that is available at their fingertips, are considered to be the most learned generations ever, right? They know things about everything, and if they don't, they'll research it and they'll come back at you with something, right? And so it's very hard. Like I have parents still today, they say, I can't win an argument with my kid, yeah? That's the way it is, it's reality, because they know something about everything, but the problem is they don't know everything about everything, yeah? They know something about everything. And because of that, they feel like a need to engage in every conversation. They feel a need to participate in every conversation. And it's a good habit to learn. That look, even if I may know something about something, it's not necessary that I talk. In our minds, we feel like you need to hear what I have to say, but really you don't have to hear what I have to say, right? Like we all feel like what I add to the conversation is the most important part of that conversation, when it's not true, right? So the Imam alayhi salam tells us or teaches us the importance of giving up discussing what we do not know. And I think this is something that all of us should kind of take as a guiding principle, that look, he's talking about politics, man, I don't have to talk, right? I don't have to talk about it. He's talking, and I think honestly, like, this is really about religion, yeah? A lot of y'all need to not talk about religion, okay? Let the experts talk about religion, right? Let the experts talk about accounting. Let the experts talk about this. Let the experts talk about that. But when it comes to religion, mashallah, we are all experts, and everybody has a fatwa they want to give out. No, let's stick to your lane and keep moving down that particular lane. And then the Imam alayhi salam says, so first, give up discussing what you do not know. And second, speak about that and give up speaking about that which does not concern you. I think these two principles really go well together. That I don't have to talk about things, all the time. I need to not involve myself in conversations that have nothing to do with me, right? Like what Fulan drove, man, I don't care. What Fulan wore, yeah? The couple got married on TV, it doesn't concern me, yeah? I'm never gonna meet that couple. Why am I spending 8 hours of my day watching their marriage, right? All of these things, like we have to understand, like we have been bamboozled by society to where they are prioritizing what I should care about, when that's not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, right? What I need to care about, like Imam says in the very beginning, I need to care about myself. I don't need to care about everything else, right? How is this going to benefit me? And if I can keep that as my guiding principle, I will avoid conversations, discussions, gatherings which don't help me right away. Yeah, this is so important for us to understand, right? If you can leave it anything from my lecture today, it's this, that worry about yourself. And if this particular conversation is not benefiting you, don't get involved in that conversation. There is nothing for you in that, right? But it's not easy. It's not easy because it's fun to talk about other people. Yeah? It's fun to see how other people are living. It's exciting. It's like that itch. You got to itch it. You got to scratch it, right? That's why the tabloid industry has been so successful. They know people want to know what other people are doing. That's why social media has been so successful. We know what other people want to know, right? And it's the simplest test, right? Like, yeah, I gave this example at Masumin too, because the similar subject of the tongue came up. But notice like how when you're on an airplane and you're sitting in your seat and you're watching your movie, but you're watching what your neighbor's watching too, right? It's just like, what is he watching? What is he watching? Right? Why? Because we are nosy people. Yeah, we are nosy by our fitra. We are nosy, right? And God says, look, I want you to control that. Don't be nosy, right? Now, that's the challenge of life, right? Where you have this instinctive quality, but God says, no, control that. I don't want that quality, right? And this is where the Imam says, look, you got to work hard to give up discussing what you do not know and speaking about what does not concern you. Then he says, keep off track. Now read this statement. This is really beautiful. He says, keep off track from which you fear to go astray. So don't go somewhere, don't do something where there is a possibility for you to go astray, right? Because refraining from moving when you fear that you will go astray is better than embarking on something dangerous. Yeah? And that's so deep, yeah? That's so deep that we need like lots of time to explain this. But basically, in a nutshell, what the Imam alayhi salam is talking about is the importance of ihtiyat and precaution, right? He says, look, avoid gray areas. Because when you go to a gray area, it's much easier for you to fall into something haram than it is if you never went to that gray area in the first place, yeah? And it starts with simple things, right? So simple things like, I don't know, let's take an example of like, I don't know, I can't even think of an example right now. I had many before. But like a restaurant, right? Where there is alcohol being served. If you ask our marja, you know, our marja will say, yes, you're allowed to go to a halal restaurant that serves alcohol. But you know, we're posing the wrong question to the marja. The question we should be asking, Sayyid, would you go to a restaurant that served alcohol? Yeah? And that served halal? I guarantee you Sayyid wouldn't go to that restaurant. Yeah? Those are the type of questions we would ask. Because we don't want to just go by the letter of the law. Imam alayhi salam is saying, that is a gray area. Yeah? That's a gray area. Yeah, you're allowed by Sharia. There are a lot of things we're allowed in Sharia. But there are gray areas, right? Going to places, eventually I go to places where guys and girls are hanging out together. Then eventually I'm going to start going to mixed gatherings. Eventually I'm going to keep slipping. My door is going to start off as a crack, and my door is going to be wide open after a while without even recognizing what led to that door being wide open. Now you can add any examples you want, but the Imam is saying it's better for you not to even start opening the door. Keep the door closed. Yeah? Don't open the door. Once you open the door, there's chances that that door will become wide open. So avoid gray areas. Avoid these places, because precaution, living a life of precaution is that important. That's why when we recite the ziyarat, we say about our Imam, he is ahwat ala al-Islam. Yeah, he's the most precautious when it comes to religion. He doesn't take chances. There's a lot more to talk about, but we want to play this game. So we'll end here for today, and inshallah we'll continue this tomorrow if God gives us enough life. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the game might not take that long, so we might come back to this. Yeah. So I'm gonna milk every last minute I got. Okay. So what we need you to do is please go to menti.com and use the code 403345. Now I know some of you all thinking I'm too cool to play, right? So you're not even trying to take out your phone. No, you're not too cool, okay? And secondly, you need to play because the top 3 are actually getting a prize today, okay? Because we don't do anything. We play to win the game, ladies and gentlemen, yeah? We don't play for fun here at JCC, okay? So take out your phones, put in that code, and you have to put in your real names, because that's the only way you're going to get your prize. So the best way is go in and put Sheikh Jaffer, okay? And inshallah, I'll get all the prizes, okay? The prizes for today are the top 3 in the men's and in the ladies' side will get an eco kit, Okay? So it's a nice prize. So if you don't want it, put my name. I don't mind getting it. Okay? Huh? Oh, can you put the code again? Sorry. Oh, go back. Oh, 40, 33, 45. We'll give everybody a little bit more time to put their codes in. And please put your real name. Yeah? Because I won't believe you are Alamdar. Yeah? Or Babul Hawaij or something. No. Yeah? Everybody ready? Yeah, can we recite a loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. All right, so the questions are about these lectures and general fiqh questions. All right, question number 1. Oh, you're still waiting for players? Yeah. Oh, look at 280 people on board. Nice. We'll give it. People are still logging on. Remember, answer fast to get points. All right? You let me know when you're ready, AV team. Get ready. Where was Imam Ali alayhi salam when he wrote this letter to his son Imam al-Hasan? Was he in Sham, Kufa, Hadirin, or Ghuta? He was in? No, he was in Hadirin. Yeah? He was in Hadirin. Okay? We'll explain it. So far, these are, all right. So far, Sister Insia is, you got 15 seconds to answer. You don't have all day. After which battle did Imam Ali alayhi salam write this letter? Jamal, Siffin, Badr, or Nahrawan? Oh, good. 133 people are listening. Alhamdulillah. So let's go back to the question really quick. This one, yeah. So you remember, we said that this letter was written after the Battle of Siffin, when the Imam alayhi salam had left the area of Siffin. For those who have ever been to Sham, and when we all get a chance to go again, inshallah, when you go up north to Halab, and you go to Latakia, and when you're coming back down, you can actually pass Siffin. Yeah, you say, I want to stop in Siffin, and then they'll take you to Siffin, and you can see the layout of Siffin. So the Imam alayhi salam, when he left Siffin, they reached a place called Hadirin, and the entire army camped out in Hadirin, and that's where the Imam alayhi salam sat down and penned this very emotional letter to his son. Very good. Number 3. How many qualities does the Imam describe himself and his son with in the beginning of the letter? 1 and 1, 4 and 8, 12 and 14, or 7 and 14? Ooh, 7 and 14 is the right answer. Yeah? The Imam alayhi salam, instead of saying from Ali to Hassan, he says from a father who's about to die, who has experienced many difficulties. And he describes himself with 7 characteristics. And then instead of saying his son's name, he mentions 14 characteristics that his son has. One who is attached to this world, one who longs for this dunya. Remember, it's not him he's addressing us, right? But one of the reasons why he does not mention names, as we mentioned, as our ulama tell us, is that to keep this letter general and to be useful in every time rather than a specific time. Very good. So we have the top 3 showing. All right, the leaderboard has changed a little bit. Very good. All right. Number 4. What is the first advice the Imam gives to his son? To have taqwa, to read the Quran, to be kind to your parents, or to be in constant remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Ooh, close. The first is to have taqwa. Yeah? When all fails, always remember taqwa. Okay? That's how important it is, really, right? Like what did Imam say? Taqwa. He probably said taqwa. He probably did, yeah, because this is why he's known as Imam al-Muttaqeen, because of how much he talked about taqwa, right? So good. I can't believe no one put Sheikh Jaffer. I told you guys like 4 times, right? Like put my name. You would have won if you put my name. That was the secret, yeah? All right, ready? Question number. Complete what the Imam said. No connection is more reliable than the connection between you and Allah. As long as you fulfill your responsibilities, provided you take a hold of it, so don't let go of it, but don't take this connection for granted. Can we give more time? I don't know if we can give more time. No, provide you take hold of it. Yeah? There is no relationship like the relationship between you and God, but you have to go out and get that relationship. Yeah? God's rope is there, but we have to hold on to it, is what the Imam is saying. And it's very beautiful, right? That yes, God will never let go of you, but you have to do your part so that you are remaining. Very good. Sister Fatima is winning. Question number 6. How does one enliven their heart according to the Imam? Through crying, through laughing, through bypass surgery, or through preaching? I thought the bypass was kind of funny, you know? I hope no one put that. 6 did, thank you. It's through preaching, yeah? The Imam says that you have to enliven your heart through preaching. Part of the preaching is visiting cemeteries. Part of the preaching is attending these type of gatherings. So the more preaching we undergo, the more enlivening our heart will become. All right. Which one of the following is not a mustahab fast? 1st of Muharram, 27th of Rajab, 9th of Dhul Hajj, or 2nd of Shawwal? If you read Maulana Rizvi's book, this will be clear to you. Correct, it's 2nd of Shawwal. Yeah? Right after Eid, the first 3 days are recommended for us to be merry. Yeah? And then the 4th through the 9th again of Shawwal is mustahab to fast at that time. All right, we're moving fast. It must be close to namaz time. What is not exempted from fast? Who is not exempted from fasting? A nursing woman, someone who travels frequently for work, someone who is sick, or the elderly. Who is not exempted from fasting? Very good. Someone who travels frequently for work. You are not exempted from fasting. All right. What is the amount due for kafara if one intentionally leaves a fast without a valid reason? 750 gram of rice for 60, 1.5 for 60, 750 per person, or 1.5 per person? Ooh, are we going by really fast or what? It's 750 grams, right? So you have to feed 60 people. Remember, kafara is different than fidya. Fidya is a form of kafara too, but fidya is a penalty, for example, of not being able to fast for a valid reason. If I left out a fast intentionally, I have to feed 60 people what I would feed that one in fidya, which is 750 grams basically, right? So it gets very expensive. Don't miss out fast for no reason, okay? Next question. What is the distance one must travel before they are considered a musafir? 22 miles one way, 44 miles one way, 22 kilometers one way, or 44 kilometers one way? Good, it's 22 kilometers one way from the city boundary, 44 two ways basically. Oh, sorry, 44 kilometers one way, that's right, 22 kilometers round trip. I was testing you, don't worry. Yeah? 44 kilometers one way. Very good. Last question, I think. Two more. If you are traveling while fasting, then you should leave before Fajr, leave before Dhuhr, leave after Dhuhr, or pack an iftar. We have 1 minute. Let's go. Leave after Dhuhr is correct. Okay, let's go. Last question. Which one of the following is not allowed while fasting? Nasal eye drop, injection, IV drop, or feeding tube? Feeding tube is correct. Who are the winners? All right, congratulations. Ooh, what happened? Sister Malika, Sister Fatma Alibai, and Brother Khalil Khaki. Congratulations to you. Please see the mukhi or the chair lady for your prize. Everybody else, we'll see you next time, inshallah. Wa akhiru da'wan and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina wa nabina Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin.